After emphatically signing off his trilogy with a win against bitter rival Chisora, Tyson Fury has declared his next adversary. Only this time, he's gunning for the man who, in his words, is the man who made Joshua cry like a little girl. The challenge is open, and the negotiations are underway. Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury for a complete division unification with the IBF, IBO, WBA, and WBO titles. Let's dive in. First up, the Gypsy King declares war. Tyson Fury is known for his creativity on the mic and in the press. Say what you will about his boxing prowess. Still, his ability to sell a fight and provoke his opponents is worth the admiration. His recent antics look to kill two birds with one stone, as Fury looked to take some jabs at his potential opponent up next, Alexander Usyk, and rival Anthony Joshua. Before declaring war against the Ukrainian, Tyson Fury was linked heavily with a fight against Joshua, who lost convincingly against Usyk. As the deal never pulled through, Fury is now looking at bigger horizons and going for the big one with Alexander Usyk. Tyson Fury was candid on why he wanted to face Usyk and not pursue the Joshua contract further. He said he and Usyk are the two undisputed heavyweight champs in the world right now, unlike Joshua, who has been beaten in 3 of his last 5 fights. At the end of the day, it really is about money. According to Tyson, the Usyk fight is much more lucrative than his fight against Joshua. That says a lot, considering the hype around it. Fury showed no mercy to the former heavyweight champion, who had taken a significant fall from a throne he once ruled on. The Gypsy King wants to face the man who made Joshua cry like a little girl. Well, that puts the final nail in the coffin for any speculation surrounding a possible Joshua versus Fury fight shortly. Coming up, Tyson Fury reveals his potential Big 3 opponents in the heavyweight division. The Gypsy King throughout the years has faced many foes across the globe, but the fighter rarely goes toe-to-toe with opponents from the same soil. Though, by the looks of how Tyson Fury is making moves in the heavyweight division, we might see him call out just about anyone in the domestic circuit. Luckily enough, Tyson has had his fair share of local bad blood. Fury loves to talk big numbers, but ironically in 2012, he got a price more than he bargained for. Enter fighter David Price, against whom Tyson suffered his only defeat in either the professional or amateur ranks. However, the two didn't get to embrace their rivalry in the big leagues. Instead, they went on their own separate trajectories. David Price faced a series of defeats against Tony Thompson, diminishing the momentum of a decisive clash against Tyson Fury. Another famous name linked to Fury was former world champ David Haye. The two were expected to fight in 2013 when talks broke down due to Haye's injuries. Lastly, we have Anthony Joshua agreeing to fight Tyson earlier on in the year when negotiations seemed to never pull through. And in the recent IFL TV's The Fight Within podcast, Fury went candid, naming 3 fighters he wants all the smoke with from the domestic division. Let's discuss what Fury had to say regarding the much-awaited speculation. Now, moving on to the domestic challengers. In the podcast, Tyson speculated whether a recent clash between himself and David Price would make big numbers, even though he has hung up the gloves. He acknowledged the scope of the rivalry and proposed the idea of having the fight for the Northwest title of Great Britain. The fight makes a lot of sense. Considering Tyson's position on top of the food chain, finding anyone who can test his abilities is difficult. The only name coming close is Alexander Usyk himself. Price has defeated Fury in the past, marketing the fight with the question if whether he'd be able to do it again. Fury seems to agree, claiming that the venue doesn't matter and that the fight would sell out regardless. He later asked if he and David Haye would still be a lucrative bout. It looks like Tyson has been paying close attention to the fans, with their following words acknowledging the 3 prominent domestic opponents he can face soon. In classic Fury fashion, the Gypsy King called all 3 out. The year is only getting started, and it'll be interesting to see who Tyson picks as his opponent after the much-anticipated Alexander Usyk fight. Moving on to Barry Hearn predicts Joshua versus Fury in 2023. Out of the 3 domestic bouts, one still looks well in the works. Fury versus Joshua is nothing less than an Ali versus Frazier fight and has been among the talks for a very long time. The heavyweight starlets came an inch close to closing a deal on the 3rd of December, but the negotiations collapsed, causing Fury to set his sights on bitter rival Derek Chisora for the 3rd time. After Tyson's masterclass against Chisora, he slipped further away from Joshua's reach, someone who faced an embarrassing defeat against Alexander Usyk. Since the Chisora fight, Tyson has made it abundantly clear that Joshua has officially missed his chance to go toe-to-toe with the Gypsy King. Though the head of Matchroom Sport and father of boxing promoter Eddie Hearn, Barry Hearn, has some hope for the fans awaiting a Joshua Fury knock. He believes that the fight will indeed happen sometime around 2023. He even expressed his support for Alexander Usyk, claiming him to be #1 alongside Dillian White, Deontay Wilder, and Otto Wallin. It all boils down to the winner of the Usyk versus Fury fight. If Usyk manages to pull a significant upset, that increases the chances of Anthony Joshua bargaining into a match shortly. Hearn also expressed how Anthony is currently up and running in the States, experimenting with some new trainers and reevaluating his boxing prowess. The fight would pose the perfect redemption arc for the British heavyweight. Time will only tell whether we can see the bout come through in 2023. Following up, the build-up to Usyk versus Fury. Speculation aside, all sights are on the fight set in stone. The prolific Ukrainian versus the Gypsy King will be a treat for all boxing fans. The build-up to the fight is only spicing up the experience. Tyson wasted no time calling out the Usyk after his win against Chisora with a bizarre yet entertaining stare-down between the two heavyweights. Tyson has been vocal about looking forward to manhandling Usyk in the ring. In a recent interview with The Telegraph, Tyson may have taken things just a tad too far. He colorfully stated that the real challenge will be chasing Usyk around, who will be mostly dodging Fury's offense, though he also promised to hunt him down and crush him. Tyson has been very critical of Usyk's size, which can be an almost unfair advantage for Fury. He's been seen calling Usyk a rabbit and names to poke the bear, who seems unscathed by the remarks. Fury is trying to get into Usyk's head, who will pose a significant threat in terms of speed and overall conditioning in the ring. He wishes to have Usyk lose his footing or get nervous for him to capitalize. Fury has bragged about defeating one Ukrainian, referring to his win against boxing legend Vladimir Klitschko. Fury's promoter Frank Warren has speculated the fight may come to fruition as early as March 2023. The predictions are already on the come-up, with one boxing legend giving his controversial take on how the fight may pan out. Moving on to our next segment, Evander Holyfield predicts Usyk will defeat Tyson. With many people gambling on either fighter, the clear favorite between the two seems to be Tyson Fury. However, heavyweight veteran Evander Holyfield has chimed in on the prediction bandwagon, predicting Alexander Usyk to take the cake. In an interview with IFL TV, Holyfield claimed that Usyk is indeed the smarter fighter and that Tyson would need to really have the Ukrainian fight at his own tempo if there is a chance for him to win. Needless to say, Evander's prediction is carefully analyzed and calculated. Just like Usyk, Holyfield climbed up from the cruiserweight division to defeat the likes of Iron Mike Tyson and George Foreman. Holyfield added that the biggest threat to Tyson in the fight was Usyk's speed and tenacity. The two have also met, with Usyk idolizing Holyfield and wanting to replicate his antics on their previous trip together. However, the deciding factor of the fight will ultimately be how Tyson Fury responds to Usyk's skill. In the comprehensive interview, Holyfield also critiqued Tyson's ability to take a combo, saying he often tends to fall apart. Evander also praised Fury's superhuman feat of moving the way he does, considering his 7-foot-plus frame. Holyfield also reminisced on the old days, expressing how behemoths such as Joshua and Fury would have been alien to the heavyweight division back in the day. Often, fighters of their size would come across as clumsy and not have the right rhythm. Finally, the other side of the spectrum, Carl Froch predicts Fury for the win. While Evander Holyfield called dibs on the Usyk camp, former super middleweight unified champion Carl Froch is hailing the Gypsy King flag ahead of matchday predictions. Froch claims that Tyson would convincingly beat Usyk 8 out of 10 times. Carl added that despite his age, no one can truly get the better of Fury. Some may argue that 34 is still prime time for Fury. However, in the ring, you can clearly see the heavyweight lacking conditioning. One of Fury's greatest antics as a fighter was the fact that he managed to come back against Deontay Wilder's ferocious knockdowns. As superhuman as that was, we all know why Fury was knocked down in the first place. Tyson put up a masterclass in his third fight against Wilder, only showing what he is truly capable of, giving the know-how and preparation under his belt. With that being said, Wilder is not Usyk. The Ukrainian is unorthodox, slippery, and sublime in his footwork, and will annoy Tyson, approaching him from the inside. Froch's primary motivation for Tyson's win is that Usyk isn't big enough to take him on. That's a wrap for this video. What are your predictions for Tyson Fury versus Usyk? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.